Today I'm going to discuss about the introduction to wireless communication systems. So in this wireless communication systems, we are going to see about evaluation of mobile radio communication systems, examples of wireless communication systems, paging systems, cordless telephone, cellular telephone systems, modern wireless communication systems, and its summary. First one, we go into the evaluation of mobile radio communication systems. The evaluation of the mobile radio communication systems came to the ability to provide wireless communications to an entire population was not an even conceived until Bell Laboratories developed the cellular concept in 1960s and 1970s. So it shows that this concept has been developed in 1960 and 1970 in the Bell Laboratories. And then with the crucial development of the highly reliable miniature solid-state frequency hardware in the 1970s, the wireless communications era was born. When the wireless communication era was born, it was said that it was very difficult to follow up and to continue. But the following make market penetration, the data which is shown how the wireless communication in the consumer sector has grown in a popularity. And the figure, that's what I've given the number here, but still we'll be seeing that figure in the next slide, which illustrate how the mobile telephone has penetrated our daily lives compared with our other popular inventions of the 20th century. And the same diagram shows that the first 35 years of the mobile telephony saw little market penetration due to high cost and the technological challenges which was involved. But however, in the past decade, wireless communications have been accepted by the consumers at rates comparable to the television and the video cassette recorders. So actually, this is what the evaluation, how it has been started in 1960, 1970s, when the research was going on in the Bell Laboratories, and how it came into the highly reliable miniature solid-state frequency hardware in 1970s, and how it become popular in the 20th centuries, and in these past 35 years of the telephones, how this evaluation has been made into the great conventions that it has been greater. And and this is what the diagram which shows the number of years after the first commercial deployment and the percentage of the market penetration. It shows here 0.1 to 100 and 0 to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60, 70 years. And the first 10 years it fast forward with your 0, it was the automobile year of introduction in 1900 and the television of year to the introduction, the historical introduction 1946 and the video cassette recorders year of introduction 1979 and the cable television year of introduction in 1948 and the year of introduction the telephone system in 1877 and the mobile telephony year of introduction in the 1940. And this figure clearly identifies the number of years after the first commercial deployment and the percentage made with the a percentage of the market precision. And what are all the examples of the wireless communication? So when you go for the examples of the wireless communication, most people are familiar with the number of mobile radio communication systems which is used in everyday life. The first one is the first examples we describe are the garage door openers and the remote controllers for the home entertainment equipment, cardless telephones, handheld walkie-talkies, pagers, also called as a paging receivers or beepers on the cellular telephones, are all the examples of the radio communication systems. Garage door openers as the automatic door openers, remote controllers which done with the automatic remote controlling techniques, cardless telephone systems which has been wide in the telephone industry. However, the cost, the complexity, and the performance and the types of the services which is offered by each of these mobile systems are vastly different. But still, these are all the communicative examples which came into the wireless communication systems. And then when you come to the paging systems, what is meant by paging systems? Paging systems are the communication systems that can send a brief messages to a subscriber. So depending on the type of the service, the message may be either a numeric message or an alphabet numeric message or a voice message. So it may be divided, this kind of things, maybe a numeric or maybe alphanumeric, maybe a voice messages. And coming to the paging systems, and paging systems are typically used to notify a subscriber of the need to call a particular telephone number or a travel to known a location of the received further instructions. In the modern paging systems, the news headline, stocks and stock quotations and the faxes may also be sent through your paging systems. And a message which is being sent through a paging subscriber via the paging systems can access the number, usually a toll-free telephone number. With a telephonic keypad or a modem, with this message is being used, called as a page. Once again, I'm repeating, once again, I'm clarifying that a message is sent to a paging subscriber via the paging systems to the access number. Usually, it is called as a toll-free telephone number with a telephone keeper or a madam. And this issued message is called as paging message. And the paging system that transmits the page throughout the service or area using base stations without which broadcast the page on a radio carrier. And the paging systems which vary widely in their complexity and the coverage area. So why the paging systems vary widely and their complexity and the coverage area? Because the sampling paging systems cover a limited range of 2 to 5 kilometers or may even be confined to within individual buildings. Wide area paging systems which provides the worldwide covering area. And this is about your paging systems. And then when you go for your the wide area paging systems, you just see this is what the public switch telephone network where the paging control network is being centered through the landline link 1, landline link 2, and the satellite link. So landline link which is having a city 1 paging terminal and the city 2 paging terminal and the city 3 city n, and it will go up to city 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to n, and it is being communicated through the satellite where the paging control centers dispatches the pages received from the public switch telephone network throughout the several cities at the same time. And then cardless telephone systems. When you go for a cordless telephone systems, the cordless telephone systems are the full duplex communication systems that are used as a radio to connect a portable handset to dedicated base station, which is then connected to a dedicated telephony line with a specific telephone number on a public switch telephone network. The first generation era, the telephone systems, which has been manufactured in 1980s, the portable unit communicates only to the dedicated base units and only over the distance of a few tenths of a meter. And earlier, the cardless telephones operates solely as an extension telephones to the trans receiver, which is connected to a subscriber line on the public switch telephone network and are primarily for in-home use. And the second generation cordless telephone have recently been introduced, which allow subscribers to use their handsets at many outdoor locations within the urban centers such as the London or as Hong Kong. You can ask me a question whether it is been the urban centers which is being used in the London or the Hong Kong. Not the London or where. I mean, we take an example where the urban cities which is being located in the outdoor locations. We can take it in the metropolitan cities of the urban locations which has been placed in the United States as well as in the China, everything. And the modern cordless telephone systems are sometimes combined with the paging receivers so that the subscribers may first be paged and then responds to the page using the cordless telephone. And the cordless telephone system providers use the users that the limited range on the mobility, as it's usually not possible to maintain a call if the user travels outside the range of a base station. And typically, the second base station provides cover ranges up to the few meters, which will be illustrated in the upcoming diagram. And this is what the diagram which represents the cordless telephone system, whereas the public switched telephone network towards the base station and then towards the link which has been connected to the cordless handset. And and now I have been gone through about your cordless telephone system. Now we'll go with your cellular telephony systems. So when you go with your cellular telephony systems, a cellular telephone system which provides a wireless connection to the public telephone network, that is PSTN, for any user location within the radio range of the system. As cellular systems accommodate a large number of the users over a large geographic area within a limited frequency spectrums. And this cellular radio systems provide high quality service that is often comparable to the landline telephone systems, which is the high capacity which is achieved by the limited coverage of each base station transmitted to a small geographic area, which is called as a cell. And so that the same radio channels may be reused or used by the another base station which is located on the some distance which is away from that particular location. And a sophisticated switching technique is called as a handoff enables a call to proceed and uninterrupted when the user moves from one cell to the another. And this is the diagram which represents the usage of the switching technique that shows a basic cellular system which consists of the mobile stations, base stations, and user communication techniques. And these switching centers. Then this is what the diagram which is being connected to a cellular system like the mobile switching centers and the towers which represents the base stations which provides the radio access between the mobile users. This is what the actual representation of the diagram. The communication between the base station and the mobiles is defined by a standard common air interference, that is a CAA, that specifies four different channels. The channel used for the voice transmission from base station to mobiles are called the forward voice channels. And then the modern wireless communication systems. Now, there's modern wireless communication systems since the mid 1990s. Okay, the cellular communication industry has witnessed an explosive growth. It means that the growth has been unimaginable. The growth has been undeterminable. It has been in the splendid level. It has been grown to the high peaks where the wireless communication networks have become the much more pervasive than any other could have imagined when the cellular concept was first developed in the 1960s and the 1970s. And the widespread, which has been the adoption of the wireless communication, was accelerated in the middle of 1990s when the governments throughout the world provided the increase in the competition and a new radio spectrum licenses for personal communication services like the PCS in 1800 to 2000 megahertz frequency bandwidths. The rapid worldwide growth in the cellular telephone subscribers has demonstrated conclusively that the wireless communication is a robust, viable voice and a data transport mechanism. The new standards and the technologies are being implemented to allow wireless networks to replace fiber optic or copper lines between the fixed point several kilometers apart from the fixed wireless accessing. Similarly, the wireless networks have been increasingly used as a replacement for wireless wires within the homes, the buildings, the offices, and settings through the deployment of the wireless local area networks. That is the VLANs. Evolving Bluetooth modern standard promises to replace the troublesome appliances communication cards with invisible wireless connections within a person's personal workspace and which is used as primarily within the buildings. The WLANs and the Bluetooth use the low power levels generally do not require a license for the spectrum use. And this is the actual introduction to your mobile wireless communication.